Yes.
So Godrej Consumer Product Limited is a manufacturing, distributor and marketer of fast-moving consumer goods. It includes household and personal care products. So their CSR activities include public health, waste management and watershed management. Here watershed management means they collect the rainwater and then use it for various other effective purposes. So the Godrej Consumer Product Limited spent rupees 34.08 crore on CSR initiatives in financial year 2021. The company's CSR initiative reached over 2.77 lakh people from the most vulnerable communities. Your vulnerable communities means which include high risk of poor health because of social, economic, political and environmental as well as limitations due to illness and disability community. During the last financial year, GCPL diverted 63% of its CSR budget to initiate medium to long-term livelihood recovery programs to support over 9,000 nano-entrepreneurs. Nano-entrepreneurs is the micro businesses which are yet to be established. So here I would like to add that by March 21, over 1,000 people re-established their businesses. Next, in addition to this, GCPL achieved zero waste to landfill and water positivity. Waste to landfill, it is reducing the waste to end up in the landfill, and water positivity, it refers to water saving, but in a brief context it could be targeting water shortage cases and positively influencing the communities who need it the most. So the company's 100% extended producer responsibility complaint, it takes back to the post-consumer plastic packaging based equivalent to the plastic packaging it sends out. Extended producer responsibility is a policy which gives a significant responsibility to financial and or physical for the treatment or disposal of waste after the post-consumer products. So the company made it among the top 15 in India in the leadership index of the Climate Disclosure Project. Climate Disclosure is a non-profit organization which analyzes what a company effects on the environment. It scored a A rating in climate disclosure, securing a place among top 25% of all Indian companies.
Okay, good. Next is Ethos. Stand close to the silence.
So Infosys founder was Narayan Murthy. So Infosys adapt CSR before it's mandatory in our country. CSR means a company responsibility, social responsibility, company social responsibility, corporate social responsibility. CSR was established in 1996 and Infosys was established in 1996 and now in 2021 the company spent 325.32 crore on its CSR initiatives, and nowadays they are focusing on the sustainable business practices encompassing economic, environmental and social imperatives that not only covers its business but also the communities around it. The company CSR is not limited to philanthropy, means वो सिर्फ दान धर्म नहीं करते, वो holistic community मतलब जो backward class है उनको आगे लाने के लिए उन्होंने बहुत सारा काम किया है. Institutional building and sustainability related initiatives. In the last financial year, a company launched Infosys Head Start with an aim of enabling digital skills at scale in alignment of with ESG Vision 2030. ESG means environmental social governance. Infosys Head Start is a platform that includes learning content developed by Infosys and leading content providers. It has been identified as a flagship intervention. A flagship intervention means they are more focused on a particular class like women empowerment, or Infosys has been recognized among the top 10 best companies for women in India to empower people, communities and society. Through this initiative, Infosys planned to empower over 10 million people with digital life skills by 2025. launched mobile medical services in Karnataka, Shakti-Dham for education of underprivileged girls, for and also inaugurated 350-bedded block at Jadhav Hospital at Jayadeva Hospital, Bangalore. Infosys to convert 109 toilets in government schools, and it is planning to launch. It is planning to invest 240 crores again in CSR activities.
Good. Next, ITC.
ITC was founded in 1910, as we all know, and right now ITC is in 36 sector of the industry, and this is a CSR activity of ITC. The company spent rupees more than 350 crore on its CSR initiatives in financial year 2020-2021, and in financial year 2021 to 2022, ITC spent almost 360 crore in the CSR activities, and the company also launched waste recycling program. Wellbeing out of waste was responsible for the collection of the quantum of dry waste collected during the year was about 70,900 metric ton from 106 and wards, and the company was also in educated poor student, that is around 0.33 lakhs through his education program. It provides skills to 12,470 youth during that financial year, and also supported construction of 640 individual household projects in 20 industries.
Next, Tata Chemicals. Loudly.
When we hear about the word Tata, the two things come in our mind is phosphorus and value associated given to the customers. So Tata Chemical is one of the leading sustainability championship over the past few years. They completely launched multiple initiatives and projects of conserve the environment and engage with local community towards building an ecosystem that is sustainable and eco-friendly. As you mentioned, the CSR activity started in 2014-2015, but from 1980s, Tata is implementing the same activities known as the Tata Chemical Societies for Rural Development, in which they include around empowering women, then basically the boosting economy of rural area and water conservation and sanitization. Apart from that, they have launched a Tata Kisan program where 87 farmers got benefit from it. I don't know much about it because there was less time to study for that. And the last one was the Okai, the rural women artisans of Okai. Okai means basically it came from the word Okhala Mandal, province of Jamnagar in the district of Gujarat, where basically Tata Chemicals Limited started in 1939. So and the owner is Miss Poonam. She started with around 350 women, and now it has been impacting around 25,190 artisans across India. Artisans means the people, skillful people which are there. So apart from that, their company has planted around 1.5 lakh mangrove across various states, and the impacts around 2.5 lakh people in the last financial year. And if we combine the CSR activity, total combined of Tata Group, it is more than 1,000 CR, and day by day it's increasing. This is about that.
Last, Wipro.
Wipro was founded on 29 December 1947. Wipro comes on third place in performing the CSR programs. Wipro implements CSR programs happens through multiple channels, majority of them being through Wipro Foundation. Wipro Foundation was founded on 24 November 1999. The company spent 251 crores for CSR in the last financial year, that is 2019 and 2020. During last 12 months, Wipro has supported more than 150 1,561 projects covering cumulative reaching over humanitarian integrated healthcare supports and livelihoods regeneration. Livelihoods means the basic necessity of the people like food, clothing and shelter. 10 million by its COVID-19 response.
Under this scope, it reached to 4 directions and personalizing kits over 10.2 million people, distributed 330 million meals, helped over 8.2 million people in livelihood regenerations, and supported more than 500 non-profitable NGOs through involved in delivering humanitarian and healthcare aid. The company's education program was instrumental in reaching 1.1 lakh students across the 14 states through means like Mohalla classes, distributions of worksheets, books and softwares.
Done with all 5. Okay, now these were all the initiatives taken by different companies as far as CSR initiatives are concerned. CSR is full formed as corporate social responsibility, not company social responsibility. It's corporate, so all the corporate who fit in the criteria which I told you right in this slide, they have to mandatorily the social activities. Now this Companies Act where CSR is mentioned, made mandatory in 2010, they have given a schedule which mentions about which kind of activities could be called as CSR activities. So it is not that any company thinks about doing anything. Say for example, there was a case when a company has given water filters to one school, and in audit the point has came that water filters providing to the schools does not come under CSR activity. So it was not accepted by the auditor. So what goes under CSR? So there is a schedule mentioned, Schedule 7 of Section 135 in Companies Act, and they have given simply the list of which activities you can claim to be CSR activities. So if at all a company has to spend whatever their 2% of average profit on CSR activities, so they should be spending only on the activities which are listed here in the schedule. So the first is eradicating hunger, poverty and malnutrition, which is one of the biggest challenge which our country has. As far as hunger is concerned, a lot of people are there in India who do not get proper food to eat, of 2 times food. Then there is a lot of poverty. I think that is still coming up slightly and slightly. We still have around 68% people who are below poverty line. That must have been coming up to some extent, but not much. Then malnutrition is another problem which countries like India, most of Southeast Asian countries and African countries are facing. So if a company wants to invest in the CSR activity, this could be one place where they can take up eradicating either hunger or poverty or malnutrition. So which means promoting healthcare, including preventive health and sanitation is again one of the biggest problems which in country like India face. We don't have a proper, not all the places, but most of the places we don't have a proper sanitation system. Now incidentally, the biggest slum area in the Asian continent is here, right from here around 4-5 kilometers. I don't know, this we have been talking about for last 40 years that is the biggest slum area and it still remains the biggest. So the question comes, what these companies are doing, or whether the companies who are using this amount of money for maybe slum areas, removing of poverty, malnutrition, whether that is really reaching to these people or not. That is a big question as far as Indian company CSR activities are concerned and the political Indian systems are concerned. I should not speak on this more because that's not a purview of our syllabus, but then it is found that many companies are doing a lot of malpractices in the CSR amounts. In tie-up with some of the political parties, some of the political individuals, and they show on audit that they have done some amount given to CSR activity, but in reality it doesn't happen. So otherwise this Dharavi wouldn't have been existing after 40 years. Then, of course, earlier people were not doing it mandatorily. But even if we start thinking about 2010 to 2022, 12 years, a lot of changes could have happened, but still it is not happening. One of the reasons is sanitation. Sanitation is one of the biggest problems in a country like India, where apart from the places which are constructed with very discipline, with following all the norms of building construction. Now you might have heard there is something called as RERA, which I mentioned yesterday only. Yesterday only, yeah? a real estate regulating authority. With that, RERA come up. Now the sanitation systems have becoming very much disciplined or scientific, I would say. But earlier days, or even in still village places, sanitation still remains a problem. What they do have STP, that is sewage treatment plant, which has got a lot of problems, which gives out a lot of unwanted gases to the environment and which is dangerous to the health. So if at all any company wants to contribute in this area, they can think about contributing more on the sanitation part, because most of the slum areas don't have any proper system. So the system what we follow in India is what we call it as a double sanitation system, two pipe sanitation system. So one pipe is collecting the waste material from places like your bathroom, then kitchen, wash and basin, where only the liquid is supposed to go. Maybe if you are working in a kitchen and there is a sink in a kitchen, you are not supposed to throw any solid material in the kitchen sink, which is from the point of view of hygiene it is not allowed. But you might have seen that the kitchen sink comes with a plunger, and you might have seen probably your mother or any woman working in a kitchen, she will plunge the soil metal into it, which is actually not healthy and not as allowed. So in that pipe, kitchen sink, wash and basin, bathroom, then maybe terraces where only the water is supposed to flow, that is one pipe which takes the all sanitation out. Second pipe is only solid waste, which is nothing but your commode and maybe Indian WC. So waste coming out only from that places is solid waste. So there are two separate lines run from, if you see any building from outside, specifically at the back side of the building, you will be able to see it, that there are two pipes running parallelly from top to the bottom. And you will see that this starts from the topmost floor. No, those are thicker, not this one. No. These are water supply pipes. Yeah, here. On this side, if you see, front window, you could see two. There are many pipes, but you can see the two ones. There is one on the extreme right hand side that is carrying the solid waste, which comes only out of your WC, commode and WC. Indian WCs, you know, earlier houses, some of the houses still have Indian WC. Either that or European WC, that is commode. So that comes out from the biggest pipe, extreme on the right hand side. Just next to that, the one which is at the center right now, is that pipe which is carrying only the liquid waste. We call it as a liquid pipe because it is supposed to carry only the liquid coming from kitchen, your wash and basin, your washing machines, then dishwashers if at all you have. So it is supposed to carry only the liquid waste. So which has got a smaller diameter, as you can see here, that is 3 inches in diameter. And the one which carries the solid waste, we call it as human excreta, whatever we live in European common and Indian WC. Only that is supposed to carry. So we have got a two-pipe system in our country that is more scientific as compared to some other countries where they have got one pipe system. Everything goes in one pipe. But here also what happens, after these two pipes meet to the ground, then you might have seen on the surrounding of your building, whenever you may be staying in any flats, you will see, you walk on the spaces provided on the site, you walk there, you will find some kind of rectangular leads onto the floor. Those are called as inspection chambers. And those pipes will be connected to those inspection chambers. Those all inspection chambers combined of one particular residential area will get connected to the road sewage. And on the roads you might have even seen circular leads, which is called as a manhole. You will see most of the times it is written MH on the top of it. MH stands for manhole. So all those systems of inspection chambers of each building are connected to those manholes. Those manholes are connected from one manhole to another manhole that will be connected to the sewage treatment plant, which ideally should be following, all the buildings should be following all that norms. But as I said, after RERA, they are following it. And there is a still non-availability of such kind of systems in most of the slum areas or areas where poor people are staying. There are no disciplined houses. There are in village areas you don't have those kind of systems. And these manholes will be taking all the sewage which flows by gravity. So if you see one manhole here, if any other time if you happen to see the maintenance going on, you just peep into the manhole, you cannot. It's so dirty. You really cannot think of going into it. But then there are people from corporation, they have to do it. And why it is called a manhole? A hole where the man can go. That's how it is named as. So it is very deep. If you see this manhole from here till next manhole, the next manhole will be still deeper. Because the pipes are connected like this in an inclined fashion so that all the material will be flowing by gravity. In a country like India, we still don't have a sewage sucking system, sewage pumping system. In most of the advanced countries, they do have that. Even if they keep the pipes, for example, the entire sewage will be pumped out and it will be given to the sewage treatment plant. What I am trying to tell you by this whole explanation is sanitation is one of the biggest problem in a country, poor country like India. Poor from the point of view of percentage of number of poor people available in India as compared to other countries. Or what we say typical in management terminology where the GDP is less or individual income is less. So such kind of countries, typically in our country we do have a problem of sanitation. So if at all any company wants to do that, in some of the CSR activities of some companies would have mentioned that they provided some 6,000 toilets. So that is talking about CSR activity under sanitation under point number 1 of section 7. So if you are doing any such kind of activity which could be classified in any of these, then only you can be said to be doing CSR activity. So sanitation is including contribution. Now they have come out with this Swachh Bharat Kosh set up by central government for promotion of sanitation and making available safe drinking water. So even government is taking initiative. Companies can make it very simple. They can give the donation to this Swachh Bharat Kosh and the government will take care of it. There was a movie also based on this, Toilet. It was absolutely based on this sanitation system of providing toilets into the rural areas. Then second schedule in CSR activities promoting education including special education. Special education means the education which is given to the special children, what we call as specially disabled students. So those who are, yesterday we mentioned about it, those who are either paralyzed, those who cannot see, those who cannot hear, those who are deaf and dumb. So those kind of people and education given to those kind of students, children. And employment enhancing vocational skills, especially among children, women, elderly. Therefore, if you know that our government has come out with a separate department and a separate website also called as NSDC. What is that? You should know, being a management student. NSDC stands for what? 2014 NSDC was started. Yes? Someone should Google. Anyway, it's National Skill Development Corporation. So this is an initiative started by the government for the purpose of vocational skills. Now skills is one such thing which unfortunately our education system is not giving out. So if I am teaching you, say, this management subjects, I am not sure whether you will be good manager or not, or effective manager or not. Because those skills I have to inculcate. Most of our education systems are such that they will make you to understand a lot of theory, read a lot, reproduce it in the exam, and then you get 90%, 100% marks. But when it comes to actually working onto the site or actually working on the machine, you feel miserable. I can tell you from the best college which I have learned in the world is COEP. I have learned from there. So exceptionally there are students who can actually work on the machine. A mechanical engineer is not able to work on the machine. Because those kind of skills are not developed, we are thinking about only giving the technical knowledge to that person. So if some problems come on a manufacturing plant and the worker is facing a problem, the engineer won't be able to demonstrate it. He will have to call a supervisor and tell him that you demonstrate him, he is not able to do it properly. Why? Because the skills is something which is different from knowledge. I repeat the statement. Skills is something which is different from knowledge. So therefore, vocational skills are all those things which probably do not require any kind of knowledge, or you don't even need to go to any school or college to get the skills. For example, very simple example which all of you will understand is drivers on this Ola, Uber or any taxi. Is there any school, I am not talking about driving school, is there any education or any diploma, any degree of learning driving, diploma in driving or graduation in driving? No, because it's a skill. So driving a car, it requires a skill, it does not require any education. Even if the driver has not gone to the school, never seen a face of a school, can also drive. Because he is only able to operate that car as a machine. So earlier, even today also in manufacturing companies, they do take apprenticeship trainees. And the minimum qualification required for apprenticeship training, now it is, or maybe some 10-15 years, it was 10th standard. Earlier, 10th standard was a luxury. the people used to learn only up to 7th standard. Maybe I am talking about some 60, 70 years before my grandfather's time. So if you are 7th standard pass, then you are the highly educated person in the society. So apprenticeship workers used to be only who will be able to operate the machines effectively. That's it. You do not require any kind of education for that. So when we talk about skills, it is any kind of a job which you can do by simply practicing, doing it again and again and again. And those kind of skill, driver is one skill. Then typing on computers, that is also a skill-based job. Maybe making an entry into an Excel sheet might require a knowledge, but typing, it doesn't require a knowledge. Typing on your handsets, I know you people are very much fast in typing SMSs, WhatsApp, right? Typing with thumbs. So that itself is a skill. Have you done any course of typing on handsets? So in simple terms, skills are all those things for which probably you do not have to go to school and college. There are no degrees and diplomas available for skills. So you can, as a company and as a initiative in the field of CSR, you can think about developing the skills of the people. You can give the funding to certain skill development institutions. There are many. Earlier, before computers came to use, there used to be typing institution. So typing is again a skill. There used to be a machine called as typewriter, which doesn't exist nowadays, and nobody joins typing classes today. So even if you have got laptop, I don't think that any one of might have gone to typing classes because those don't exist now. Earlier there used to be a qualification. There used to be specially reserved jobs for typists. So if you have got, and they used to say 30 WPM, means if somebody is able to type 30 words per minute, he can take a junior clerk job. If it is 60 words per minute, he will become senior clerk. So only based on typing skill, people used to get the job. But now you are not required to have any such kind of institution which will teach you typing. It has become so conversant and all of us are so well acquainted with it. So you have a laptop, you automatically learn typing. Not necessarily scientific way of typing. Otherwise they teach you A, S, D, F with finger, then next semicolon, LKG. So you have to keep on practicing like this. We don't do like this. But still we might be faster than somebody else who has gone that particular training. So typing, just as an example which I am giving, is a skill. Like that, there are many skills. The cobbler who sits on the roadside, it is a skill. Has he gone to any school? Are there any diplomas in swing your chappals and footwear? No. So all those skill-based jobs. Yesterday we were discussing about skilled, semi-skilled and skilled workers. So those are again all skill-based jobs. All the people who are working on construction industry, 80% of them are non-educated. And around 4.5% of construction industry is the contribution to the total population of India. So out of the total population, 4.5% people are involved in construction. And out of that 4.5%, 80% people are uneducated. But all the buildings are standing up, standing still. So that is only because the people have got the skills. You ask me to plaster the wall, I won't be able to do it. I am a civil engineer. But I don't have that skill. So skill is something which is related to dexterity, how you use your hands and probably your entire body to do certain work. And that is required. So NSDC till now has given to more than few crores of students the skills training. We have got ITIs, Industrial Training Institutes. That was the kind of institutions which were expected to be there everywhere around. They are developing the skills of the people, maybe interning, then fitting, welding, operating machineries, then tractor mechanics, electronic, then construction technology. They will teach the skills rather than knowledge. And it has been found by studies that you need to have the people who are skilled rather than people who are knowledgeable. You may be having a lot of knowledge, but then if you are not able to make use of it, it's of no use. So one of the areas where you as a company can invest your money is in the skills development of the people. So, and I have said that you can make it very easy by giving the contribution to Swachh Bharat Kosh. They will take care about sanitation. Sorry, we will discuss in here. So enhancing vocational skills. So all those skills are categorized as vocational skills. This could be among children, women, elderly people and differently abled, that means all paralyzed and some kind of odd people, and livelihood enhancement projects. So even women are being trained for doing such kind of skills job. Now I would be showing you one video which I just recollected when I was taking a lunch. So that video could be the best example. It is not done under CSR, but then it is absolutely a skill-based industry. And you know that industry. I'll just show you that video. And incidentally, I happened to present the case of this company in one of the conferences in Malaysia. So I will not be sharing my company, I'll just show you that video, which will make you understand what I am talking about. And all of you know incidentally that company. इसको क्या करना पड़ेगा? कौन सा बटन कंप्यूटर देखिए हाँ जी Okay, see this video. Okay, should I start? Okay, you must have identified the name of the company if at all you were looking at the screen.
सत्ताईस अट्ठाईस साल की थी, छोटे छोटे बच्चे था एकदम। बच्चे लोग तो स्कूल जाते हैं, मतलब लोग एक जगह काम पर जाते हैं, तो हम दूसरे क्या करेंगे? तो इसके लिए ये पापड़ का ज़्यादा रेट है ना हमारे गुजराती में भी। तो बोले पापड़ बनाएगा, जाएगा बेचेगा। पढ़ी लिखी है तो जाके काम करने को, पर नहीं पढ़ी लिखी है क्या करेगा, वे पापड़ करता है सबका। आदमी देखा ना महीना दिन तो सबको ऐसा लगा कि तो अच्छा है काम, घर में काम है अपना, बाहर जाना नहीं पड़ता है। ₹80 उसने लिया था एक ट्राई पास, उसने अब पापड़ बना के तात्कालिक ले लिया उसको, उसका पैसा उधार दिया था, इसलिए सब साथ में रहता था, उसने ही दिया हमारे को, ये लो दाल मंगा लो इसका। पहला पापड़ तो ₹2.400 दिखाया आपने, पापड़ जैसा बनाता था ना ऐसा ही बना के दे दिया। वही थप्पा 5 किलो का 4 किलो का था, ऐसा थप्पा वो दे दिया हमने उसको देखने के लिए। और पॉपुलर वाला हमारे था भाई, वो लेके जाता था सब पापड़ मेरा। बाद में बढ़ने लगा तो बाद में हमने शुरू किया बात जाने का लिए। तो पहला मेरा लगभग 50 दिन हो गया था। धंधा करना कैसा करना है ये हमारा पापा एक कटाड़ी बापा था देखा है, उसने हम सब सिखाया हमको, मेहनत उसका है सब, हमको और नहीं मार्गदर्शन देते सब, ऐसा करो ऐसा करो ऐसा करो। उसको ऐसा लगने था कि बेंदर को 5 पैसा मिले मैं वो उसका पाँव पर खड़ा रहे, घर में भी उसकी मान ज़्यादा दे, ऐसा वो पापा का एक दिन बोला ये रखो लिज्जत लो ऊपर कुछ भी नाम, तो कोई लिज्जत रखो लज्जत रखो लिज्जत रखो। तो हमने बोला कि दूसरा कुछ नहीं, लिज्जत नाम रखो, लिज्जत की इज्जत पड़ेगी। पहला दिन से लिज्जत चालू हो गया, ₹80 से चालू करा हमने वो दिन का। 1600 करोड़ का मेरा धंधा है पूरा वर्ल्ड में। पापड़ जाके आटा बना के कल पापड़ दिया तो दूसरा दिन मजदूरी हमारा बैंक में जमा हो जाता है। अभी पहला हाथ में लेते थे, अभी बैंक में जमा हो जाता है। 5 बजे दिन लोग आके, पहला तो ट्रेन में आते थे सब, हमारी गाड़ी है अभी गाड़ी है तो गाड़ी में आ जाती है। दिल्ली जाना पड़ेगा लेने के लिए, फोन आया था, फोन लेकर आया है।
Okay, this company has got an outlet in Pune also. The company still works on the same philosophy. They don't have automated manufacturing even today. Early morning, the bus picks up the women from their houses. What women pick up from the Lizard Papad offices, they pick up the dough, which is required to make the papad. So dough is made at the place. That is again, some machines are there to make the dough. So they will take the dough home, and per papad each women is paid. So that could be one of the biggest cases in women empowerment which still exists. So I was very proud to present a paper in Malaysia on the same Lizard Papad. Why? Incidentally, because the current CEO of this company happens to be my good old friend. So whenever I go to meet him, every time he gives me 5 kgs of papad free. So my wife always asks me, "बहुत दिन गए नहीं आप लीजिए papad." So incidentally, he and I was there in Dubai also. So I just happened to be there in Dubai and I got a message from him. Usually early in the morning I send message to around some 500 people, good morning message. Of course, it's a common group which I made. Through that, it goes to every individual window. So I sent a good morning to him as well. So he received good morning from Dubai. I said, "Are you in Dubai?" "I am also in Dubai." So he said, "Where are you staying?" So I forgot the name of the hotel now. So I told him that I am staying in this hotel. He said, "I am staying in this hotel." So on Google Map, I could see that his hotel and my hotel were back to back. It was just a coincidence. So remaining entire 6-7 days we were together in Dubai. Earlier also I have gone to Malaysia for not Malaysia, Thailand for presenting this paper. He had also come with me because they wanted to promote some educational systems in Thailand. So they have got tied up with some 2-3 universities in Thailand. So he was there with me for almost a week in one of the cities of Thailand called as Ayutthaya. And if you see Thailand, most of the cultures, most of the temples, gods are same as we are got in India. So Ayutthaya word has come from Ayodhya, which was belonging to Ramayana. Okay, the point is this CEO which I am talking about, he is still taking only 1 rupee as a salary because he is doing as a service. So most of the people who are working there, who are doing the voluntary services, except those women who will be paid for making the papads, and those are paid per papad. And now they are doing it on per kg, per grams basis. But earlier they were paid per papad when they started. So you can just see how an initiative taken only on women empowerment can go to such an extent. Started in 1956. They have got 1,600 crores. That video must have been around some 6-7 years before. They might have increased more as far as their turnover. So again, coming back to the main point from where we diverted, I won't say diverted, because it is again a skill-based job which any woman who is uneducated can also do. So rather, they started with an income, if you might have seen, they started with making an income source only to the women who do not have any work to do. When she has she was saying there that लड़के स्कूल जाते हैं और मर्द काम के लिए जाते हैं. So what these women will do sitting at home. So specifically, it was a totally skill-based company. We started with their operation. So coming back to the main discussion is CSR. If any company wants to do CSR under point number 2, so they can sponsor some of such skill-based programs or some skill-based activities, training, or they can sponsor some of the companies who are giving training. Point number 3 is promoting gender equality. Yesterday we discussed a lot about diversity and inclusion and equality. So promoting gender equality, empowering women, setting up homes and hostels for women and orphans, then setting up old age homes, daycare centers, such other facilities for senior citizens, and measures for reducing inequalities faced by socially, economically background groups. Now, women empowerment is one of the major initiatives which is under CSR. So, a lot of women empowerment work for women or orphanages and old age homes will be contributed to CSR. Incidentally, while having lunch, I happened to get one posting on WhatsApp, which is actually a company which somebody started who happens to be in a film industry, and he has started with a company called as I forgot the name, I cannot see it here. Some service which is giving for funeral things. So most of the people in our country, there are only old men and old women. They are staying here in India, and their children are somewhere settled in US, UK, Australia. There are many such families, at least in Pune and many other places. So this old couple, they face a lot of difficulties, and usually the children don't come to help them. So this person has started with funeral company, funeral private limited company, who will do the funeral after such kind of couples die, and they are charging for them. A different kind of a business, which probably is a very good thought from the point of view of old age homes. Old age homes are many nowadays coming up. So some interviews going on, and it was asked that how have you come up with the old age home idea? How is it different? So the person on the other side, he started crying. He said actually old age home should not be there. Why? Because why old age homes are required when children are not taking care of their parents? So though with that ideology he started with this, so still there is a demand on old age homes because of the societal changes happening. We used to call this as brain drain. When I was talking to somebody about eBay, आपका था ना eBay? So my friend, he started working with eBay. He did his masters of computer management. That degree doesn't exist in most of the universities now. He passed out in 91, and as you are rightly said, 95 he shifted to eBay. He worked with Mastech for first 4 years. So he is there in 1995. Shifted there, he's still there. My own nephew shifted to Japan in 2000. He's still there. So there are many cases in Pune. Pune is a place where if you go to the typical hardcore city of Pune, Sadashivpet, Narayanpet, Shaniwarpet, almost I would say 99 out of 100 families have got their children somewhere settled in some other countries. Either Australia, Japan, New Zealand is one of such countries who gives permanent residence very easily. Canada is one city. So where if at all you can think about going there, but then don't make your parents use that service. So come back.
Same situation.
Where?
There are
Okay.
so many couples, old couples, who are staying alone, and the situation is really bad because I have visited so many places, and like chawl system है, but वहाँ पे सब है जो old है, and no like our generation is no one is there to take care, कुछ होगा कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
So maybe if at all you become an entrepreneur, any one of you become too big to get at least 5 crore rupees of profit for your company, do think of this activity as a CSR activity. Helping the old age people. Of course, other segments are also there, other sectors are also there. Orphanage homes is again one very bad story of our country. But then this all comes under point number 3, economically backward people. Point number 4 is ensuring environmental sustainability, where we have started our today's module. It was all talking about environmental sustainability. So all initiatives taken for environmental sustainability, environmental considerations will be coming under CSR. Ecological balance, protection of flora and fauna means all the flowers and vegetation, etc. Animal welfare, agroforestry, conservation of natural sources, maintaining quality of soil, air and water, including contribution of Clean Ganga project, which is started by the government, and River Ganga project also there. So even if you cannot do it as a company, you don't have probably that much amount of manpower available to do all this kind of activities, you can just give the funds to the government, and government is supposed to do all those activities, and that funds could be audited for, which could be contributed to CSR activities and will be considered. Point number 5 is protection of national heritage. So a lot of importance is nowadays given to archaeology. Archaeology is protecting the old buildings. There are many in Mumbai. There are many in Pune as well. All the old forts, old structures, old vadas, old houses. So you have to protect them. That will also be coming under CSR. National heritage, art and culture, including restoration of the building, sites of historical importance, works of arts, setting up of public libraries, promotion and development of traditional arts and handicrafts. So artisan was a mention in some of the companies. So artisans are all those people who are local artists, so who do everything by hand. So those are needed to be promoted more. So there was some company, I don't remember which company was there. Artisans is talking about artisans. You must be remembering, yeah. So they are giving importance to development of the artisan. They are giving a lot of money to them. It comes under this development of traditional arts and handicrafts. Whereas as far as protection of national heritage and cultural buildings are concerned, in Pune recently, my college COIP has been declared as heritage building. Similarly, there is one college in Pune called Deccan College, which itself has got an archaeological department that has also been declared as a national heritage. Then in Pune, Shaniwarwala is there. In Mumbai, I think Gateway of India is Gateway of India, India Gate. Gateway of India. So that also seems to be heritage, and the government has to declare it as a heritage. Then only people can help for the development of it. Sixth comes measures for benefit of armed forces veterans, the people who were working in armed forces and they have got the retirement from there, and some of them who cannot get the benefits of retirement and similar kind of fringe benefits, you can work for them. War widows, then their dependents. So there is Central Armed Force CAPE, and then Central Paramilitary Forces CPMF veterans. So there is one such kind of initiative in Pune. They call it as a Queens. It's on the Queens Road, so it is paraplegic home. They call it a paraplegic home. So all those people who were in military and they have lost their limbs, so they stay there, and there is a lot of funding coming from government. And even company wants to do some kind of investment under CSR, they can take care about this segment as well. 7 is training to promote rural sports, nationally recognized sports, Paralympic sports and Olympic sports. Paralympic is again for the sports for the paralyzed people. See, there was a match of tennis which I have seen where the two sides of the tennis players were on wheelchair. Then there are many such kind of, whatever Olympic games are there, those all the paralyzed people can play. And if you want to support as a company, it will be coming under this point. Then contribution to Prime Minister National Relief Fund, and this is very commonly followed by most of the companies. Rather than taking trouble in actually executing it, they give the money to some kind of funds. So these are tough funds available: Prime Minister Citizen Assistance and Relief Emergency Situation Fund, PM CARES Fund, or any other fund set up by central government for socio-economical development, relief, welfare of SC, ST, OBC, other minority, and of course women. And I think this is the last one. So 9th part of that section, contribution to incubators or research and development projects in the field of science, technology, engineering, medicine, funded by central government, state government, public sector undertaking, or any agency of central government. So here they are providing incubations. Incubation means the funding given by the government to start with new businesses. And for your information, there is a funding available with central government from 10 lakhs is minimum, 20 lakhs is maximum for you without asking any kind of collateral security. So they will give you that amount of loan to start with a new business as an entrepreneurial initiative that comes under incubation. Of course, you have to provide a lot of reports and bank statement, the bank project report is required. But then you can get without any proof of whether you have the capacity to repay it back or not. If you are coming up with any entrepreneurial initiative, under this, companies can also give and central government is giving. And last is contribution to public funded universities, or specifically in the areas of research, you can see IITs, then District Department of Science and Technology, ICAR, DRDO, which is in Pune, DBT, IITs in Mumbai, IIT Powai is one of the IITs. So all the research institutions across the country, you can fund them for doing a lot of research which will be helpful to the people in general. This we have seen. So those were the list of all CSR activities. The 5 companies which I have told you, those are found from this particular website. I will send you the PDF as an assignment. You are supposed to complete this and you are supposed to mail it to me. I will tell the details about at the end of today's session. So this browse, you will have to browse this particular website. These are the top 100 companies doing CSR. I have shown you only 5. You can pick up any one out of remaining 95. Simply you can drag and drop and maybe write your explanation and you are supposed to submit it. I will tell you about all that later before we end. Now talking about ethical principles in social media and e-platforms. So I need not have to tell you, but you are the ones who are using probably maximum social media and e-platforms. So what care has to be taken? I won't waste much time on this. So guidelines are there, then there is some rational or implementation of these guidelines. Be fair and prudent, avoid deception, maintain dignity and respect, then eschew secrecy, means don't make the secret unfolded. Is it reversible? Be transparent, clearly identify, rational analysis, emphasize clarity, disclose, verify sources, etc. You can read this and this explanation will be making you understand. So point is, whenever you are putting anything on social media, you are not very much sure, rather you don't get yourself authenticated, whatever you are putting is really correct information what you have or not. So rather, most of the times, 60 to 70% of information what you receive on WhatsApp is false, is wrong. And therefore, ironically, people say that WhatsApp has started with the university, we call it as WhatsApp University. So, whatever you receive, before you forward, you have to think twice whether it's an authenticated information or not. So from the point of view of social media, you have to take that care, and these all things are talking about the same. So whether it is authentic, whether it is coming from the authentical sources, whether you have done any kind of analysis before you read and forward. So all those points are mentioned here. It's better you read it and try to understand and try to follow each of them. Privacy, or even the thought that one has this right, leads to peace of mind. I don't think I should read it. Intrusion and encroachment. This is physical or otherwise on one's liberties, solitude in highly offensive way. Now we are still talking about social media and e-platforms. So whenever you are putting post or maybe forwarding post, if those are likely to disturb somebody's solitude or likely to express somebody's or put restrictions on somebody's liberties, it may be offensive. So the person might feel bad, the person might file a case against you under some acts which are related to social media, what we call it as, there's one word for this, cyber law, cyber crime. The person can also take you into the court. So you have to be very careful whenever you are doing any kind of encroachment. When we say encroachment is physical, or otherwise encroachment means entering into somebody's premises without required permission. So that encroachment is very common in cities. Like the people who sell the things on footpath, that itself is encroachment unless they have got a certificate from corporation. That is one encroachment. Then encroachment is constructing some part of your building or some part of your property in somebody else's property, then taking away their land and piece of the land. So those encroachment cases are maybe in lakhs of crores in India. Because earlier all the things were done manually, now the things have improved. So with the help of online things, such things are happening less as far as physical encroachment is concerned. But encroachment will not limit to only encroachment in the physical area, but it will limit to the encroachment in somebody's private matter also. So that's the reason why we say that you should not be peeping into somebody else's personal life. So when you are asking certain questions which that person may not feel good to answer you, then you are trying to encourage that person's personal life. So in short, you should not be asking any kind of personal questions which you discussed yesterday. So whether you are married or not, if you are divorced, why did you get divorced? No such kind of questions to be asked, otherwise it will amount to encroachment in the personal lives. Then privacy facts, making public private information about someone that is of no legitimate concern to any. So you have to be maintaining privacy again with reference to that. You cannot expose anybody's secret. You have to take a permission if you want to forward somebody's video personally shooted. If it is available on social media, you can always do that. But even when you are doing that, you have to ask whether it is going to defame somebody or is it going to put somebody in trouble. So it is related to the privacy. Then false light is making public false and highly offensive information about others. So it is you are creating some information rather than forwarding it. So kind of a mispublicity or negative publicity you shouldn't be doing. It comes out of false lighting. Then there is something called as appropriation, means stealing someone's identity, name or likeness to gain advantage without permission of the individual. Now this has gone to such a worst situation today. You might be receiving the message from your very close friend that I am in so and so place and I have lost my wallet, and then can you just deposit some amount in my account. All such kind of fake message you might be getting. So the original person has to tell you that it was not me, somebody has hacked my account. There are many cases of Facebook accounts being hacked, then your Instagram account being hacked, LinkedIn accounts have been hacked, and all this information is directly posted onto the LinkedIn page that I am in Malaysia and then I have lost my purse and bag, so I don't have any money. Can you please help me and deposit some amount of money, or can you please send somebody, or if you have any friend in Malaysia, can you ask him to give me some kind of money. So all such kind of things will amount to appropriation. So using a fake name, using fake information, these kind of things are increasing nowadays, but then ethically you are not supposed to do it from social media perspectives. This may be a simple information, why people post. Maintaining trust, clearly defining etiquette for all employees, building transparency. We have discussed on this. Okay. These videos we'll see, and then I think that's the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos, 20 minutes. How much time we still have? Huh? 2:15. These are all the videos of scams. Okay, these are the famous scams of our country, which are obviously the unethical practices done by these companies.